So somewhere in between doing all these spots, catching these spots, going crazy, linking with the crew, y'all are slapping Dilla beats and all that, and Lil 4'3" Vel,
definitely.
starts rapping, starts busting flows.
I did.
With this voice that's way more powerful than you would expect.
Absolutely.
And was it just off rip? The homies were like, damn, like shorty nice with it. Like,
so I remember like I was like I'd be in this like garage or like small room or whatever the case may be, and like homies would just start kicking freeze. And I was always in a rap. I didn't necessarily know how to freestyle at the moment, but something was so intriguing. And by nature, I'm very competitive. I wish I wasn't as competitive, but I also think that's why I'm like so driven.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, I wanted to automatically be like the best freestyler in the room. But I wasn't about to like ask nobody to show me how to freestyle. Like that's not how I get down. So I went home and I taught myself how to freestyle.
damn, so you learned literally just in your bedroom. Like,
I specifically remember moments of me being in the shower and me being in the car.
Isn't it funny the way that works? The
shower, it's like your own personal stage.
Yeah.
It's I don't know if it's a comfortableness. You're like in your natural form.
And there's no outside thoughts.
There's no
so
outside
like you could just
the sound of the water kind of drowns everything else out. So I remember teaching myself in the shower and in the car. And I remember even one time I was like on the freeway, like at a stop, and I was like going so hard on some beat, and I looked over the side and the guy's looking at me like, what is that girl doing? Because I was probably like bobbing my head like wicked crazy, just like bouncing out. But and then I would come back to the garage and they'd start kicking freeze, and then I just kind of hopped in and it was done. After that, I was like blowing everybody else out the water.
And then how did you wind up integrating into
writing?
Yeah, into writing.
That transition was a lot harder than you think it would have been. As far as like me being stubborn, because I used to think that if you wrote your raps, you're not real. You were whack.
You're fake.
You're whack. You're a Lil Wayne. That's what I used to say. Oh, I can't believe I used to diss him back in the day.
Who oddly enough doesn't even write. He like freestyles a lot of his.
For just a small second, I was the ignorant hip hop head. Like
it happens that we've all
who
gone
writes
through
their raps? Like I'm only off the top. Like if it wasn't off the top, I couldn't take you serious.
Right.
And I had one homie who was kind of already, because the other homies, like everybody was fucking around, but I had one homie who was actually like trying to like do the rap thing, and he pulled me aside one day and he was like, look, I'm gonna let you know right now, like you have something that nobody else has in this room, so you should actually like really try to write, like take your time, like write something that means something. So one day I was on the Silver Line coming into downtown from Baldwin Park, and I was listening to Pandora, and I had Primo beats on, just like, spinning in the back. And I wrote my first like 11 bars. I didn't even
11.
I specifically remember it was 11 because it didn't like match.
Right.
Like there was something missing, but
right.
I didn't know like
you don't know what bars
I didn't know
are,
bar
yeah.
line. I didn't know bar count. Like I didn't know, but I remember it was like 11 bars. And I went to the homie's crib. He had a mic in his closet. So my first mixtape was actually called Closet Rap Mixtape, because I had recorded it all in like a tiny ass little closet in South Central.
Oh, I thought it meant you was trying to tell us something that we didn't know. Okay.
Oh yeah, like you figured that one out.
No, I'm just playing.
I know. But I went to the homie's crib. Another little room with like 8 heads smoking like 2 blunts, super hot. It was like a hot day in the middle of the summer, and I recorded. And what I will say is I was super lucky to have friends who made their own beats. So I never recorded to a beat that I ripped off of YouTube. Like I never
type beats.
I didn't rely on like spitting on a known beat. So all the first songs I ever made were all on original beats. Shout out to the homie Yoshi. So I spit on one of his beats, and I came out the closet, and we're all smoking blunts. It's like my crew, like eight heads from my crew. And he plays it, He had like some big ass speakers in that little ass room too. And And when I started hearing my voice, I was like shocked. I was like, who's that? That's not me.
You're not used to the sound of your own voice.
You know when you
yet.
you record a voicemail and then like you listen to it and you're like, oh, I sound like shit, or I sound horrible, or I sound weird. I just wasn't used to hearing my voice. I think like.
Did you like what you heard, or?
Yo, I was the baddest bitch. That I realized like, whoa, I'm a bad bitch. Like that shit was amazing. And I looked around the room and everybody's like jaws on the floor.
Yeah.
And we're like, I think at that moment we kind of realized like the power that was coming from the speakers, and it was a beautiful moment.
Yo, we just hit 400,000 subscribers right here on the Clips channel. So if you want to help us out, click subscribe, get us to 500K. Yeah.